Buenas noches, queridos amigos que están siguiendo esta serie de hablando o conversando acerca de la educación. No se olviden de suscribir a nuestro canal de PAP Training, que es el programa de aprendizaje virtual, de manera que ustedes puedan recibir notificaciones acerca de los programas que vamos a ir lanzando en el futuro. El día de hoy vamos a estar conversando acerca de cómo motivar a nuestros estudiantes y escribir en línea. Nosotros tenemos que una es motivar a los estudiantes a desarrollar las competencias de lectura. Es una de las cosas más difíciles para los maestros. El día de hoy tenemos con nosotros a un educador de larga experiencia en los Estados Unidos y en otros países del mundo. Tenemos al doctor Stephen Brownson, de Orange County, en California. El doctor Brownson es un experto en la enseñanza de lectura y escritura en alumnos de todo nivel, inclusive profesores universitarios o profesores de secundaria y de primaria. Al mismo tiempo, es un experto en el uso de la multimedia para integrar la tecnología, que tan de moda está en estas épocas de pandemia. Nuestra conversación va a cubrir su experiencia, la experiencia del doctor Brownson en la enseñanza en línea, así como el uso de la multimedia integrada a distancia, para lograr que los estudiantes pues logren desarrollar sus conocimientos en la lectura y en escritura principalmente. El profesor Brownson ha enseñado y capacitado a más de 15,000 profesores en el uso de multimedia en toda su carrera, tanto en los Estados Unidos, así como en otros países en 3 continentes. Damos pues la bienvenida al doctor Stephen Brownson con una primera pregunta. Ahora vamos a hacer la entrevista en inglés, siendo el idioma nativo del doctor Brownson, aunque es muy fluido en español, pero preferimos hacerlo en inglés para que el mensaje sea apropiadamente comprendido. Dr. Brownson, good evening. How would you define integrated technology?
Integrated technology combines text with animation, audio, with the goal of engaging learners through the use of multimedia. With dual encoding, students can master the text or written word in their long-term memory metacognitively, with the usage of multimedia to lock in the ideas from their working memory to the short-term memory, and finally to the long-term memory. Thus, you're teaching reading and writing linked with technology for 3 purposes. First of all, you're gaining the intention of students learning through the usage of multimedia. In addition, you're building their motivation to read through a student-centered component that links to their schema of learning. Finally, you're engaging the students in their academic learning through a medium that greatly entices their interest and motivation.
Quite interesting, Dr. Brownson. Now, how can you get towards finding the best integrated technology for reading and writing?
One of the key elements is you have to know the funds of knowledge about your students. What's their culture, their academic backgrounds, their social learning, what is their instructional level? Once you have the basic background information, see what is readily available that is low cost or free. In addition, you want to find technology that'll move students toward mastering the academic content, academic vocabulary, and academic skills in a meaningful way. As you find the integrated technology, such as using Kahoot, Nearpod, Peer Deck, as well as Seesaw, you have to be consistent with how it's applied and look at the reviews, find out ease of usage, navigation, and also how well the students are interested in it. Constantly evaluate and reevaluate what you've done and check the impact on student learning and engagement.
Quite interesting. Now, you know that one of the main difficulties that teachers are facing in today's world of distance learning is to motivate students to actually learn and to pay attention in classes. What do you think about what would be, what are ways to use the integrated technology as a motivational tool for reading and writing?
One of the best ways is having the text both include text-to-speech and highlighting of the keywords as they read. Then the tracking mechanism can keep students focused and interested in reading at the same time. You can also use tools such as Dictate from Microsoft Word or Vocaroo.com as options for turning their oral language into written language. Also select stories that your children are interested in, such as fairy tales, cards, or animals. Those tend to be the most popular stories for children. Start with reading and ask them oral questions. Afterwards, guide the students to use programs such as writing A to Z or even dictating with Microsoft Word, where they can see the language flowing.
And how can integrated technology be a useful tool for either independent learning or classroom instruction during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Usage of integrated technology can guide students towards a positive perspective of reading when they're not in the classroom. Through the usage of animation and sound, the initial interest can spark excitement within the child about reading. Furthermore, the teacher can utilize writing in a meaningful way connected to the visual stories that the child can interpret, as well as connect to their schema or way of learning. In addition, the COVID-19 pandemic has loosened socialization. Taking the effort to build a combination of multimedia within a classroom lesson, the students and their parent or guardian can inspire the student towards building a dialogue about literature in their writing.
And considering the pandemics and all the difficulties, again, I have to mention that teachers have to face in developing classes through distance media. What do you think are the most important tools for developing reading and writing skills using multimedia and integrated technology for children?
One of the greatest websites is starfall.com that combines literature with sound and animation. Another program is called Raz Kids that promotes critical thinking, reading, and engagement within the overall process of literacy. For writing, there are programs such as Writing A to Z. You can also promote literacy as a parent by using programs such as Vocaroo.com or VoiceThread, where you can tell stories in either an audiocast or a podcast.
And in order to help teachers who are finding difficulties in the classrooms, which would you say are the most critical elements in selecting integrated technology with multimedia that promotes interaction with academic reading and writing for students?
One of the most important elements involves finding literature that the students enjoy. Another factor is determining the style or modality of learning based on their multiple intelligences. Then examine how the technology is being presented in order to gain the student's attention and build interest towards reading and writing. A fourth element is the ease of navigation and the usage of the application or website. Perhaps one of the most important factors for selecting integrated technology is the impact on improving the depth of understanding for students regarding literature and how reading and writing are interconnected.
Mm-hmm. And in times of the pandemic and the COVID-19, would you have a message to viewers, listeners, teachers, parents, something that you would like to add or perhaps recommend or advise?
Definitely. Many parents are allowing their children to use multimedia and integrated technology only as games during the pandemic. One of the negative impacts is that students are losing a great opportunity to build their reading skills, as well as to transfer the knowledge towards academic writing. I strongly encourage parents to promote reading and writing to develop the child's imagination and deep structure academic reading and writing skills, especially within the content area of history and science.
Thank you, Dr. Brownson. Any words for conclusion and closure?
I highly recommend their parents become actively involved in their child's reading and writing development, even more in a pandemic than under normal circumstances. Due to the loss of school time, many children are falling behind academically in their reading and writing skills. In order to reduce the attrition of the child's skills, including multimedia with reading and writing, they can combine the interests that the students have, such as potentially cars or animals, with the subject matter and encourage them to become lifelong learners in regards to their academic reading and writing skills.
Thank you very much again for your valuable and useful advice, Dr. Brownson. I think your experience and words are going to motivate many teachers that are finding difficulties in the delivering classes, not only in Peru, but also in some other countries in the world. Thank you very much. Ahora, quisiera pues dejar también al mismo tiempo un mensaje a todos nuestros oyentes de hispanohablantes. Lo importante, creo, es encontrar maneras de mejorar el aprendizaje de nuestros estudiantes a distancia. Sabemos que estamos encontrando muchas dificultades, pero con personas como el doctor Stephen Brownson podemos encontrar maneras pues, de lograr que finalmente los estudiantes aprendan, que es una de las mayores dificultades que estamos encontrando en este tiempo de pandemia. Les agradecemos mucho por vuestra atención. Hacer también un llamado a las autoridades de los países de dar facilidades a educadores que puedan desarrollar clases a distancia sin necesidad de trabas burocráticas para, por ejemplo, dar clases que tengan un valor oficial, que eso es lo que se necesita porque muchos alumnos están quedando sin clases. Hemos recibido noticias, por ejemplo, del Ministerio de Educación peruano que tenemos 300,000 estudiantes sin recibir atención. Y esto es realmente una tragedia. Muchas gracias pues, por vuestra atención el día de hoy. Les pedimos suscribir a nuestro canal. Agradecemos a nuestros auspiciadores y pasen la voz de estas conversaciones acerca de educación que van a estar siendo lanzadas regularmente. Si desean mayor información acerca de nuestro canal de PAP Training, las direcciones están en pantalla y agradecemos vuestra asistencia el día de hoy. No se olvide de darle un like al programa. Hasta pronto y que les vaya bien.